Hello and welcome to this special presentation brought to you by Immortal Wrestling. We are here. Well, I'm Wrestling with Jonas. You know me from the TNT Barbed Wire Show, Progress Hype Show, and many more. And of course, the world famous Wrestling with Jonas. But of course, I am joined, as always, during these hype shows for Immortal Wrestling by the owner, the promoter of Immortal Wrestling, none other than Jay White. No, not that Jay White. That Jay White, just there. Jay, how you doing, my friend?
Not so bad, thanks, mate. Yeah, not so bad, thanks, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, very good. Does it get confusing being, a little bit uncomfortable being confused by the New Japan and AEW wrestler Jay White all the time? And I'm sure when you're walking down the street, it happens all the time to you, Jay.
Now and then, not as many times as you think. More on Facebook, if anything. I've had messages saying, "Oh, well, did you used to wrestle? Do you remember seeing me at the Weymouth Pavilion?" And there's people just on message requests, and I feel stupid saying, "Sorry, I'm not that Jay White."
Different Jay White, but of course we are here, Jay. We are here to look forward and to preview and to hype up your next show, which is this, of course, and Batterday Fight Fever, presented by Immortal Wrestling, Saturday the 23rd of November, just 10 or 11 days around the corner, Jay, a week and a half. Of course, it's from the Southwick Village Hall in Southwick, near Trowbridge in Wiltshire. And there is a barcode just underneath Jay there, QR barcode. If you've got your phones out, scan that, and that will take you straight to Eventbrite, where you can get your tickets. Or, bring up. I think you've got family bundles there as well, Jay.
Family.
Individual tickets, pair of tickets, or family bundles. We'll talk all about that during the course. But, and of course, there is a bit.ly link as well. Just go to bit.ly/immortal tickets, bit.ly or bit.ly/immortal tickets, or just scan the barcode on screen. But, Jay, it's been a year. Almost to the day since we last had a presentation from Immortal Wrestling. I'm going to ask you, with your promoter's head on, kind of where's your head at the moment? You must be looking forward to the show.
Nervous, excited, enthusiastic, motivated. Big jumble of words, John. Is it? But yeah, we're looking forward to it. As you say, it's been a year. Trials and tribulations. We would have looked like to do maybe another 2 before this, but we've got the big one, and we're putting all our eggs in the basket, and full sail, as you say, Saturday, 23rd November, the Southwick Village Hall. We're ready.
Absolutely. And there are some of the stars that will be featuring at Batterday Fight Fever, November the 23rd, from the Southwick Village Hall. And I mentioned the barcode underneath Jay there, but there's even a bigger one. Get your phones out now, scan that. I'll bring this up a few times during the course of this live stream. There we go. There's the bit.ly link, bit.ly/immortal tickets. Get your hands on those today. We're going to be breaking down and having a look at all of the matches. 7 matches in all will be featured at Batterday Fight Fever. And stay tuned, because we do have 2 performers, 2 wrestlers that will be featuring at Batterday Fight Fever. They'll be joining us live. And that's going to be one you will not want to miss when those 2 stars drop live onto this hype show. But first of all, if you are watching this live, thank you so much for tuning in. And for the first time ever, we are streaming live on Immortal Wrestling's YouTube page and Facebook channel. So get in touch with the show. And if you are planning to go down to the Southwick Village Hall for Immortal Wrestling's next show, send us your comments, your questions about the show. What matches are you most looking forward to? What stars on the show are you most looking forward to seeing? And I'm sure you're excited for the show, so tell us all about it. Get in touch with the show today. But details running along the bottom of the screen as far as where you can get your tickets, bit.ly/immortal tickets. And I'll bring up that barcode a few more times during the course of this show. But if you are watching, thank you so much. And please get in touch. We've had a few people dropping messages already, and I get to those. But as I mentioned, Jay, it's been almost a year to the day, or certainly come showtime, it will be nearly a year to the day since your last show, when you debuted at the Southwick Village Hall last year. Here are just a few pictures from that show to give you a flavour of what Immortal Wrestling is all about. And there's big Tim Strange, Mr. Tim Strange. You call him Mr., especially if he's up close. And he made his debut for Immortal Wrestling last year. We introduced the Immortal Wrestling Tag Team Championships and there were your brand new tag team champions, the Demon, Death Squad, of course. We had a whole host of stars from across the UK and the world, including the Wonder Kid, Johnny Storm, Jack Selstrom, and of course we crowned a brand new King of England. The Flynn Daddy, Flynn Burden, is your King of England Championship. And of course, Violet Knight, who will be featuring at the next show, Batterday Fight Fever, made her immortal debut 12 months ago. But the deadly one, Nightshade, we'll talk more about her later. Still the reigning and defending champion. It's probably getting on for maybe 2.5 years since she became the immortal champion. What a tremendous champion she has been. And of course, we had Dirty Dango. We flew Dirty Dango over from the States for a special appearance at the Southwick Village Hall, formerly Fandango of WWE, of course, when he took on the greatest wrestler on planet Earth, Tateness' greatness. Of course, Tate Mayfair's was part of last year's show. And we crowned a brand new national heavyweight champion, CJ Rawlins. We're going to talk about all of his successes across the UK and with Immortal Wrestling. And of course, turning the national heavyweight championship, Jay, into a world heavyweight championship because he has defended it in Finland, Helsinki. But we'll talk about all of that. But your recollections of last year's show, it was a tremendous show, one of the best shows of the year that I worked at and had been to as a fan. Such a wonderful show when we had stars from all over the UK and all over the world, including Dirty Dango, and what a match he had with Tate. But we saw a little bit of a flavour of Immortal Wrestling there. Jay, what are your memories?
It was everything was up in the air, as we say, new venue and everything, stars here, there and everywhere come together. It was a go big or go home moment. I was honestly, if that show hadn't have gone well, that would have been it for me, but we defied the odds and everything, and here we are nearly a year later, returning Southwick Village Hall, Batterday Fight Fever, and we're ready to go again.
Absolutely. And what a lot of people don't appreciate is Immortal Wrestling is not necessarily a new company, but it is a small company, and every ticket sale counts, Jay. But the other thing, and I've always given you credit for this, is that you always bring in fantastic talent from around the UK. You have brought over international talent, and that doesn't change with Batterday Fight Fever, as we will very soon see. But also you give new up-and-coming local talent an opportunity, a platform as well, Jay. And you also kind of use UK talent that maybe some people may not be too familiar with, but you've made them into stars in an immortal ring over the years. So credit to you, but you really give us a variety show of a wrestling show, and you do give us a full flavour of independent wrestling from around the world, my friend.
Thanks very much. We like to give people, you could call us a variety. We have a little bit of something for everything.
Yeah, absolutely. We also want to talk about give a few other people credit while we're here. First of all, we want to shout out to the graphic designers, where all of the graphics, all of the match graphics you will see tonight, designed by the wonderful JP Designs. And a designer that you haven't used before, Jay, but we will soon check out some of the match graphics, but somebody that you're working with and a wonderful graphic designer that you certainly highly recommend. If you're a wrestling promoter, get in touch with JP Designs.
Yeah, he does a lot for Fight Factory as well, VCW, No Mercy, ourselves, of course. Been familiar with him for quite a while. That was looking to, as we say, spice things up. We don't just give people opportunity in the ring. We give an opportunity to people like behind the camera, taking pictures and all that. But now we're going with graphics. So as we say, we broad out. We don't just, we're a family, but we're an extended family.
Absolutely. And one of the talents that we will talk about a little bit later on in one of our main event matches that we will talk about, AJ Kazana. One half of the current NWA United States Tag Team Champions. You probably see him on a weekly basis on NWA Power, of course, but he is running a seminar. Now, I understand that there are still a few spaces left, and you can be, present. You can take part in this seminar with AJ Kazana. The day of the show, Saturday, the 23rd of November. If you can get yourself down to the Southwick Village Hall, but get in touch with Jay, get in touch with Immortal Wrestling. I'm sure they'll give you more information on how you can be a part of that seminar with one half of the NWA United States Tag Team Champions, AJ Kazana. And I'm going to let the cat out of the bag here, Jay, but AJ Kazana will be joining us a little bit later on. Fingers crossed, if technology works and if we can get a good phone signal from AJ Kazana, he'll be one of the 2 guests joining us a little bit later on. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. But Jay, we've also got a brand new ring announcer, and he has dropped a bit of a video on his socials of late. But we actually had a chance to catch up with this individual. You can tell us all about him very soon. But let's listen and see from the man himself. Here we go.
Saturday, November the 23rd, Immortal Wrestling, Batterday Fight Fever at Southwick Village Hall. Omelette, the fat legend himself, will be there and will be your special guest MC. So why not come along and enjoy a whole evening of wrestling and seeing Omelette himself? Are you going to do it? Quality.
There you go, the fat legend, Omelette. What a character. And he is going to be your MC for proceedings on Saturday, the 23rd of November from the Southwick Village Hall. Jay, what a character. Where did you find him?
It's really funny, to be honest, because he's mostly well known for appearing on Lee Nelson. Lee Nelson is a comedian persona of Mike, who goes by the name of Sunbod Kim. Around the early 2010s, when I was growing up, he did a show called Lee Nelson's Welcome People, and Omelette was sort of a co-star. They would talk down the country, but they did 2 series on BBC. And I would always laugh, especially when Omelette came onto the scene. And just a few months ago, I actually decided to look up on YouTube. Was there any of the old episodes or anything? And it came up with Omelette, and I was like, wait, what happened? Whatever happened to him? And I looked up, I didn't actually realize the dude is a massive wrestling fan. And I'm like, okay, this could work. And I reached out to him, and he was more than on board for it. It's like a match made in heaven, literally.
And you will see Omelette as your MC at the Southwick Village Hall, November the 23rd. We've got a few people that have got in touch already.
Awesome.
We mentioned JP Designs, and JP is watching. So thank you, JP.
Evening, JP.
Fantastic graphics that we'll be bringing up soon. A wonderful graphic designer. Evening, both. Evening, JP. And of course, oh dear, the notorious DMP, Southwick's very own, is watching us live via YouTube. Make sure you bring out the red carpet.
Typical.
Unbelievable.
Typical.
I've got a feeling that we're going to be hearing more from the notorious DMP very soon. But thank you for reaching out. Thank you for getting in touch. Thank you for watching. And continue sending your questions, your comments about Batterday Fight Fever, November the 23rd from the Southwick Village Hall. Let's talk about some matches, shall we, Jay?
Well, yeah, let's go for it.
Let's do that. We've got a 7-match card to have a look at and to break down into Hype Up. And first of all, let's talk about this one here. Dan Rodman versus Lazarus. Now, I know a little bit about these individuals, especially Lazarus. I have met him in person. I've interviewed him as well at the ASW South training school down in Salisbury. He's a big dude, an intimidating dude, a powerful dude, dare I say, a frightening dude. And then, of course, you've got Dan Rodman, who is another trainee at ASW South. Both of these 2 individuals have wrestled on the kind of the training pre-shows, the pre-show spectacles for ASW South's main shows. So these 2 know their way around a wrestling ring, but Lazarus is a force to be reckoned with. But before we talk about these 2 individuals, we did have the notorious DMP. He reached out. Here's another video.
Oh, of course.
Look, I'm telling you this right now. DMP Enterprises only get the best clients, okay? And we are here to make sure your show still survives. Yeah, no, I am saying that. Because it ain't if you don't put Lazarus in. You understand me? Right, get back to me with some numbers. Right. Right, Immortal Wrestling. My name is DMP. I am head of DMP Enterprises, okay? And we only get the best clients to make sure that these shows stand out. And by God, Immortal Wrestling on the 23rd of November, I'm gonna bring one of my biggest, baddest, and goddamn meanest wrestlers to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, I, DMP, are bringing Lazarus to the Immortal Wrestling. And guys, you are in for a surprise. And kids, make sure you're tucked in at night afterwards, because Mummy and Daddy are going to have to sing you a lullaby after this. Saturday, 23rd November, all hell breaks loose.
I can already tell you. I mean, I kind of had my dealings with DMP last year. We were kind of on the same page. We don't really want to kind of repeat what happened there. But you know, he seemed all right there. He seems to have got quite full of himself. And I understand that the notorious DMP is going to be the manager for Lazarus in this match against Dan Rodman. But that is going to be an entertaining... I'll be speaking of entertaining. What's this, Jack Purser? What is that hair, though? Speaking about DMPs, I'm guessing, and we got Phil Brewer, not a fan of the shoes either.
Oh,
well,
sorry, excuse me.
I think DMP would be the first to say that he is the trendsetter of Southwick. And if you are a resident of Southwick, get yourself down there, because you will have the local hero, the notorious DMP there. We'll be rolling out the red carpet, Jay. We will be rolling out the red carpet.
He likes to think we will. He likes to think we will. He'll be getting the standard just as everyone else. Equality for all at Immortal Wrestling. No favoritism.
There we go. But maybe if he brings his own red carpet,
maybe
that's what we need to ask, because he's not getting another one. Dan Rodman versus Lazarus is going to be a fantastic showcase for those two individuals. Let's talk about this one here, though, Jay. We've got the Bounty Hunters versus Early Grave. KM Lane and Tommy Lawrence, former guests on Wrestling with Johners, of course, and trainees of Mike Bird, will be going up against Callie Gray and spring-heeled Jack Landers. Now, of course, Callie Gray, I brought up that picture earlier on, and I'll bring it up again, but one half of the Immortal Tag Team Champions, of course, Xander, out of action at the moment. But Callie Gray, no stranger to an Immortal Ring. I think this would be maybe his third or fourth appearance in an Immortal Ring. But Jack Landers making his debut for Immortal, as is KM Lane. But the Bounty Hunters versus Early Grave. Jay, that's going to be a banger. Now, I'm probably the UK's biggest fan of tag team wrestling. I've gone on the record nearly every time I stream, to be honest with you, about what a big fan of tag team wrestling. But you've got two very young, dynamic, exciting tag teams there with four of the brightest, best young, up-and-coming wrestlers on the UK. And not to undersell them, because they are absolutely banging. I think four of the best individuals on the UK, up-and-coming or not. But KM Lane, Tommy Lawrence, Jack Landers, and Callie Gray, of course. But give us your insight into this one here. And I know just as much as I am, you're a big fan of tag team wrestling, but this one is going to, this one's going to be one to watch, isn't it, Jay?
Yeah, as you said, Callie Gray is no stranger to Immortal Wrestling, but neither is Tommy Lawrence. So it started off, they started off going head-to-head by themselves. Go back last year, Tommy Lawrence he was booked for the show, but didn't have a tag team partner. But Lion Kid came in, and they got so close to claiming the Immortal Wrestling tag team titles. But now Callie Gray has also brought in Jack Landers, who's just come off a very successful tour in Japan. So let's highlight that, give the man a round of applause.
Absolutely.
And as you say, all four of them undeniably are stars of the British wrestling scene already, and they are just going to go on to even bigger and better heights. And as we say, the returning Callie Gray, Tommy Lawrence, but also the debut of Jack Landers and KM Lane. So it's sure going to be one to watch, possibly match of the night, Jonas.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. One that I'm looking forward to amongst many on this card. And we brought this up earlier on, our big QR code. But give it a scan if you've got your phones out. Give it a scan and it will take you straight to Eventbrite where you can get your tickets or family bundle for November the 23rd for Immortal Wrestling Presents Batterday Fight Fever. And of course, details running along the bottom of the screen. And while I'm at it, I might as well bring this up as well. Let's go the whole hog. bit.ly/immortal tickets. bit.ly/immortal tickets is where you need to go. And of course, I neglected to mention that in the description to this should be the link itself. So when you finish watching this, watch all of this first. Don't go anywhere just yet. But when you finish watching this, click on the link or scan the barcode and get your tickets. But we got more matches to talk about. And we've got some special guests dropping in a little bit later on. Before we do that, hold on a second. We got some stuff going on in the comments here. We got some stuff in the comments here. The notorious DMP is back.
He's lurking like a shark.
This guy. Those shoes are probably worth more than a month's wages for some people. Well, probably. Listen, I wasn't the one that called them SH1T, mate. So don't have a go at me. I'm just the host. But hold on. You're going to like this, Jay. Thank you, DMP. You're going to like this, Jay. Lazarus, the big guy from ASW South. Dan Rodman's opponent has been in touch. DMP's confidence isn't misplaced. He knows what I'm capable of, and soon everyone will. And of course, DMP is going to be Lazarus's manager.
Yeah.
Lazarus, I'd love to know whether are you comfortable with DMP calling the shots? I mean, do you really need a mouthpiece like DMP? We will see. But Dan Rodman's going to have a lot to say in the ring where the match goes down on November the 23rd. We've got cue ball here. Easy cupcake. Lazarus.
Big words.
The comments are getting a bit fiery. There we go. I'll bring up more comments later on, but keep sending in your comments. It's getting a bit tasty. And obviously, Notorious DMP and Lazarus, they will be. The thing I'm concerned about, Dan Rodman, is it going to turn into a 2-on-1? Is he going to be facing a handicap match on the night? You're going to have to be in strict control of the referees that night, Jay, to make sure that nothing gets out of hand, because I'm a bit concerned for Dan Rodman. But we must continue. This one here. Wow. You talk about bangers. We spoke about Lazarus and Dan Rodman. We spoke about that tag team competition. But here, Will Caven versus Lion Kid. Lion Kid, the first ever Immortal Wrestling National Heavyweight Champion, against the current and reigning Rev Pro undisputed British Cruiserweight Champion Will Caven. When you talk about two wrestlers that can do it all in the ring, I mean, Lion Kid, he's done absolutely everything all over the world, all across the UK and in an Immortal ring. He's had some of the matches, some of the best matches in Immortal history. Admittedly, Will Caven making his Immortal Wrestling debut, but I mentioned it just a moment ago, the current Rev Pro undisputed British Cruiserweight Champion. This match is going to be fantastic. If you like your fast-paced, dynamic, high-flying wrestlers, performers, athletes, then Lion Kid versus Will Caven. Now, we did get a few words sent to us by Will Caven, and of course, making his debut for Immortal Wrestling. This is what he has to say to the Immortal Wrestling audience and to Lion Kid. Here we go.
Immortal Wrestling. My name is Will Caven, and I am the Rev Pro undisputed British Cruiserweight Champion. And on November 23rd, I am making my Immortal Wrestling debut in a first time ever matchup against Dragon Gate legend, the Lion Kid. I have wrestled and beaten some of the top cruiserweights, not only in the UK, but in the world. And on November 23rd, Lion Kid, you are going to find out exactly why I am the top cruiserweight in the UK.
There we go. There we go. Making his Immortal Wrestling debut, Will Caven. And he's got the gold with him to back it up. He is the current Rev Pro, undisputed British Cruiserweight champion. I'm going to bring up that graphic again because Lion Kid, he's been a mainstay. He's been a he's been one of the figureheads, Jay, of Immortal Wrestling for many years now. As I mentioned, the first ever British heavyweight champion of Immortal Wrestling. But Lion Kid versus Will Caven, you could say it's a match between two different generations. But Lion Kid can still go with the best of them. And he's certainly going to have his hands full with Will Caven. But to give us your thoughts on these two individuals, what sort of match are we likely to see on the 23rd of November?
As we say, it's the first time ever clash of styles, clash of generations, Johners. Champion versus former champion. We did try and reach out to Rev Pro to get this match sanctioned for the British undisputed cruiserweight title, but we didn't hear back. So it's just going to be the classic one-on-one head-to-head. But still, that takes nothing away from what these two will offer. And we just can't put it forward enough. First time ever. And it's not like these guys have been on the scene for a short amount of time. They've been on it for a while. And people had plenty of time to make this match happen. But why haven't they? That's the beauty of Immortal Wrestling. We look at the possibility that others don't.
Absolutely. Lion Kid versus Will Caven. And what a fantastic match. And who knows, the winner could move forward, could progress to bigger and better things in Immortal. But we will see the former Immortal Wrestling champion, Lion Kid, taking on the current Rev Pro Undisputed British Cruiserweight Championship to see who is the best cruiserweight, you could say, in Immortal Wrestling. You will find out yourself if you get tickets at the Southwick Village Hall. Just go to bit.ly/Immortal tickets. Let's talk about this one here. This one here is for the Immortal Wrestling Fighting Championship two-time champion. Frankie T, you can see in the middle there, will be taking on, well, not just one, but two challengers to his championship, Steve Valentino, and another mainstay, another veteran in an Immortal Wrestling ring, the Nomad, Dalton Garrett. Now, we saw last time round Frankie T winning back his championship in what was, you could say, a 2-year-long storyline against the former champion. I may have had a small part to play in the outcome of that match, but we won't talk about that. But Frankie T was very, very pleased to become a two-time fighting champion. But he's defending it against not just one, but two challengers on November the 23rd, Steve Valentino and Dalton Garrett. This is going to be probably the hardest match of Frankie T's Immortal Wrestling career, wouldn't you say?
Definitely, yeah. You've got the big man Dalton Garrett, Immortal Wrestling OG. He's come so close on so many times to winning gold in Immortal Wrestling. He's competed for the world title, now for the fight championship. But Frankie T, every time he just manages to claw his way back. It's almost become sort of an obsession of him. The fighting championship, it's like he needs to have it. It needs to be part of him. It is part of him. It's an obsession. It's like going with the ring, some might say. And as we
that's a good description. But never mind. Carry on.
but going back to it, yeah. This is Steve Valentino's debut, and he is one half of the current World War Wrestling Tag Champions, alongside the unpredictable CJ Rollins, who also the Dead Sea Souls, if I'm correct, and also another member, Immortal Wrestling member Violet Knight, also the current WWW Women's Champion. She's come close on many times as well, winning gold. So it's going to be an interesting night. Oh, and all three on the night are competing. So could we see the Dead Sea Souls dominate Immortal Wrestling on November the 23rd?
Absolutely. And this was the moment when Frankie T became a two-time fighting champion last November when Immortal made their debut at the Southwick Village Hall. But that's going to be a tremendous triple threat match for the Immortal Fighting Championship. And you mentioned Violet Knight just a moment ago, and she made her Immortal Wrestling debut last year against the current champion, Nightshade. Now, we must mention that Nightshade is not going to be part of this show. And I do have a couple of pictures of Nightshade. There we go. Nightshade is currently wrestling over in Japan, where she is doing fantastic things out there. And for the second year running, She features in the PWI Women's Top 150. So congratulations to Nightshade. Congratulations on all of her success in the long reign. Immortal Women's Champion is currently over in Japan, doing the goods. Sporting the Immortal Championship with honor there. But this match here, Erin Angel versus Violet Knight, will be number 1 contenders match, Jay, for Nightshade's Women's Championship. Erin Angel, a 20-year veteran of the UK scene, making her debut for Immortal Wrestling. She's previously won championships, being one half of the tag team champions at Pro Wrestling Eve. Formerly Bellatrix and WrestleForce Women's Champion, and now vying to be the number 1 contender. But one person that's standing in her way is Violet Knight. And we saw Violet Knight put in the performance of her life against Nightshade 1 year ago, against Nightshade, the aforementioned Nightshade, the women's champion, of course. Erin Angel, like I say, she's been on the scene 21 years, Jay. Who she hasn't wrestled and who she hasn't wrestled for isn't worth mentioning. She's been all over the country performing for the very best, performing against the very best, and she has made a name for herself as one of the best in the UK. Violet Knight, she wants another crack at Nightshade's championship. This one's going to be one to watch for sure, and it's got stakes, number 1 contenders match, worth the price of admission. Erin Angel versus Violet Knight. Tell me about it.
Obviously, Nightshade couldn't be with us because she's with Pro Wrestling now, and we just want to say, as much as we hate her, she is she kicks ass, and she's at the ring in Immortal Wrestling, close to nearly 1,000 days as women's champion. Not something that you see done much in wrestling these days. You used to have London lengthy title rings going back to the WWF, the NWA, £10 of gold, Mid-Atlantic, when it was the territories. But now, in the present day, you've got all of these lengthy title reigns. And the winner, Erin Angel, Violet Knight, the winner of that has the chance to go on to make history next year to try and stop Nightshade. But who's it going to be? The debut Erin Angel or the returning Violet Knight? It's another generational clash, Johners.
It really is. And it's a very exciting generational clash. Let's go back to the comments, because the comment section is getting hot and heavy. Phil again, talking to Lazarus. Is Lazarus aiming for the top of Immortal Wrestling? I'm sure he is. I'm sure Notorious DMP would like to see, or like to help. I'd like to think that Lazarus is going straight to the top. And he's back again. Jay's back again.
What now?
Mouthpiece. I'm a cheat code, Johners. If that's
he wishes.
You have me by your side. The match is already won. Rodman is an appetizer. The main course is Immortal Gold.
Ooh, big words.
So not only Phil Brewer thinking Lazarus could be heading straight to the top of Immortal Wrestling, but of course his manager, and definitely not a mouthpiece. Manager. Cheat code, I think that's maybe should be his little underlying tag name. But the cheat code, the Notorious DMP reckons that Lazarus is going straight for the gold. Frankie T, the current reigning and 2-time fighting champion, is watching live at home and has got in touch. And thank you for joining us, Frankie T. You want to talk OGs? Let's talk OGs. I have been at Immortal since day one. I know what Dalton Garrett is all about. That's the beauty of it. Steve Valentino won't have an easy ride. So tough talk from the champion, but he's earned that right to talk the talk, because he has walked the walk in an Immortal ring. 2-time fighting champion Frankie T, and he's kind of looking to DMP. Let's talk business. So Frankie T, for a manager there. Maybe DMP could be interested to expand his Immortal stable. Who knows? But Frankie T, congratulations on the win next year. Let's see if you can do it again against Dalton Garrett and Steve Valentino. That's going to be a tall order. Let's talk about this one here for the Immortal Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. And Jay, you rightly described it as the World Heavyweight Championship earlier on. Batterday Fight Fever. And this is your match for CJ Rawlins your current reigning Immortal Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship, going up against Powerhouse Blake, Scrubber Daly, and Drake Winter. Now, CJ Rawlins has been a fighting champion, and you know as well as the rest of us that he recently defended the Immortal Wrestling Championship over in Helsinki, Finland. What a match, what a champion, and what a victory to retain his championship. I think it was only a few months ago, maybe April. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there he is with some shots there from his victory, successfully retaining the Immortal World Heavyweight Championship. And of course, it was that stint that made it a World Heavyweight Championship. But this match here, Scrubber Daly, he's a world of sport legend. He came back to the UK scene on pretty much a full-time basis in 2018, and he's been wrestling regularly across the UK ever since. But before that, he had, I think, a 23-year absence. And his last match featured Giant Haystacks in the mid-1990s. But Scrubber Daly is a British wrestling legend. Drake Winter has featured in an Immortal ring before, as has Powerhouse Blake. So this is going to be no easy feat for CJ Rawlins. But we did have a few of the competitors there get in touch with the show. And Drake Winter, the Emperor Drake Winter, no less, got in touch and sent us this video.
This is the Emperor Drake Winter addressing you from this rundown council estate in my most common clothes. In an underpass, of all places, preparing myself for my return to Trowbridge and Immortal Wrestling. Disgusting place around here, just like Trowbridge is. And when I head down there, I will be taking on CJ Rawlins, Powerhouse Blake, and World of Sport legend Scrubber Daly in a fatal four-way for the Immortal Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. The last time I was at Immortal, I pinned a British legend, Jody Fleisch, as well as upstart Shane Saber, both in one pin. Maybe I'll do even better this time and pin all three of my opponents at once. Who knows? I've got a habit of making a name for myself at Immortal Wrestling. You see, the last time I was down there, I almost became #1 contender for the Heavyweight Championship. But the thing is, the Emperor doesn't settle for second best, and I get what I want. Ugh, disgusting around here, just like in Trowbridge. But here's the thing, it's worth heading down to Trowbridge to get my hands on that Immortal Wrestling Championship. And there isn't a thing CJ Rawlins, Scrubber Daly, or Powerhouse Blake can do to stop me. So November 23rd at the Southwick Village Hall, be there to see the rise of the Emperor.
Okay, first question. Why is the Emperor doing a promo in an underpass? Anyway, he must have been going to get his weekly shop at Aldi or something. I'm not sure.
No idea.
So Drake Winter, he mentioned that he's had some success in an Immortal ring, but we also had our Immortal Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion, CJ Rawlins, get in touch with the show. This is what CJ had to say, looking ahead to November the 23rd.
Immortal Wrestling, it's finally time that you return to Trowbridge. November 23rd, it's CJ Rawlins versus Scrubber Daly versus Drake Winter versus Powerhouse Blake. Drake Winter, you are one of the most technically proficient professional wrestlers on the UK scene. You're incredible, the moves, the athleticism, mind-blowing. Scrubber Daly, all the experience in the world, wrestle Big Daddy. You are a British wrestling legend, and my respect goes out to you, sir. And Powerhouse Blake, what can I say, man? You are a powerhouse. But I defended this championship in Helsinki, in Finland, and I will defend this championship in Trowbridge. At the end of the night on Batterday Fight Fever, it'll be CJ Rawlins, the unpredictable, still world heavyweight champion.
So Jay, I've got to ask you, looking at that match graphic again, CJ Rawlins defending his Immortal Heavyweight Championship against Powerhouse Blake, Scrubber Daly, and Drake Winter. That's 4 big guys in the ring there. and CJ Rawlins, the unpredictable CJ Rawlins, who beat Damien after 666 days as Damien as the immortal heavyweight champion, my friend. But that's the tall order for CJ Rawlins. And you've got 3 different types of competitors there going up against CJ. He's going to have his hands full. How do you think this one's going to go down? And can CJ Rawlins pull off the impossible and retain his championship?
Honestly, I had a little chat with CJ earlier today over the phone. He said it's the biggest challenge of his career so far. You've got Powerhouse Blake, who was recently seen on AEW as a member of security. So he's got international credibility. But again, the man, the size, the strength of him. If there isn't a team up on Powerhouse Blake, I don't know what any of them are going to be doing. It's going to have to be a numbers game to bring that man down. And Drake Winter, as you say, he pinned Jody Fleisch, did the double pin. Shane Saber also appeared on AEW with the double pin off the top rope, and Shane came that close to getting a chance at the title, but never came down to it. And then we've got a World of Sport original, Scrubber Daily. It's correct, you, Jonas. He has been about here, there, everywhere, doing the occasional match, mostly for the charities and this up and around Midlands, still doing the good stuff. Even though he's one of the baddies, he does have a nice side to him. But he's given so much to the business. He's never been given a shot at the big one. So we thought it was only right that he'd be given this opportunity to say thank you for everything he's done to British wrestling. And as you said, regular tag team partner of John Haystocks. And I believe, actually, if you read his book, he actually broke Big Daddy's arm.
Wow. There we go. I just send CJ Rawlins, the current Immortal Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, his best wishes, because I think he's going to need it against Drake Winter, Powerhouse Blake, and Scrubber Daily. We've actually got Drake Winter watching us live at home. The Emperor, of course. He said it. I was slumming it with the commoners to prepare for being surrounded by them in 2 weeks. Harsh words there. And Drake, you're a big guy. Didn't want to offend you. I apologize if I did. Obviously, I understand now. I understand why you were doing your promo in an underpass.
Makes sense.
So yeah, if you see me backstage, I'm sorry. I'll bow to one knee. I'll shake your hand. Just don't rough me up. Don't rough me up. I know I've been going to the gym, but Anyway, let's have a quick look. Cue Ball's getting a bit controversial here, calling Drake Winter a Game of Thrones reject. And of course, Phil, who was at the show last year, remembers CJ versus Damien being an absolute classic. He's back again, Jay. He's back again. The notorious DMP. He's got his number. Give him a call. Hashtag smart people think alike. I wouldn't go that far. Smart people, Frankie T and DMP. Anyway, I'm sure.
It sounds like it's a recipe for disaster, Jonas. It's a recipe for disaster.
But that is the match for the Immortal Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. CJ Rawlins defending his championship against Powerhouse Blake versus Scrubber Daily versus Drake Winter. That's going to be an absolute classic. And there's a picture of our champion there. Right, we're going to talk about this one here. The big match between AJ Kazana and Tim Strange. The ball rope match at Batterday Fight Fever, November the 23rd, from the Southwick Village Hall near Trowbridge. And of course, I brought this up earlier. That's the big QR code. This is another match you're not going to want to miss. Scan that. It will take you straight through to Eventbrite, and you will witness the 6 matches we've just spoken about in this match here. But I mentioned guests, and we have one of them about to join us now, Jay. And that is none other than Tim Strange. Tim, how are you doing? Everyone? Welcome to the Immortal Wrestling Hype Show. We, of course, are hyping up and looking forward to Batterday Fight Fever, November the 23rd, from the Southwick Village Hall in Trowbridge. But you made your debut for Immortal Wrestling almost 1 year ago to the day, when you very handily defeated the Nomad, Dalton Garrett.
Easy work. That was the thing. I spoke to Jay and I told Jay I needed competition. I said, Jay, I will come to Immortal, but you need to give me the biggest and baddest you have. He gave me Dalton Garrett. Dalton Garrett lasted 1 minute and 30 seconds, if that. I came to JJ, said, come back. I need you to come back. I need you to come back. I said, I'll come back, but you need to get me someone. You need to get me someone who I can fight, who's going to put up a fight. There ain't nobody in that locker room that I fear. So what he has to do, he has to go to America and get one half of the NWA American Tag Team Champions in AJ Kazana, a man who comes from a rich breed of professional wrestler. His family date back. Nothing but respect and love for the Kazana family. You know, his father, his brother, everyone, very talented wrestlers, but you got to understand when you come to my town, you enter the ring, we strap our bull ropes to each other's hands, respect's out the window. It don't matter. As I'm a fighting man, I've got a fighting man's chance. So when AJ Kazana comes to Immortal and he gets to that ring with me, he's got to know all he has to do is do better than 1 minute and 30 seconds. Just help me break the sweat. That's all I need him to do on my way to get that belt. Like, he's just a stepping stone for me. Absolutely. I'm up for the challenge. I'm up for the fight. But at the end of the day, I've never been beaten in a bull rope match. I've been in 50, 60, 70 bull rope matches. I've never been beaten in one. It's my specialty match. Absolutely. I'm known for violence. I'm known for hardcore wrestling. I'm known for a brawl. It's just going to be a fight. It ain't going to be pretty. It's going to be a fight.
Let me ask you, Tim. Let me ask you. And of course, the Immortal fans were introduced to you 12 months ago at the Southwick Village Hall. And they will see you again against one half, as you rightly said, of the NWA United States Tag Team Champions, AJ Kazana. You've clearly got the advantage. The bull rope match is certainly your match, your stipulation, your specialty. What are the fans likely to see? What are the fans going to be in for? What sort of violence are we going to witness on November the 23rd when you step in the ring and attach that bull rope to your wrist and his wrist for that bull rope match in the Southwick Village Hall? Tell us about the violence and what's likely to be seen.
It's going to be a brawl. It's going to be violent. I want everybody to be away from the ring. I want the fans to clear it because we're not just going to stay in the ring. We're going everywhere. It don't matter to me. Like, the match will start in the ring, it'll end in the ring, but where it ends up spilling to, that's beyond a doubt it's going to happen. I'm looking at AJ Kazana. I know he's up for a fight. I know he's here to sort of make his mark on UK British wrestling. I know he's here now to put his stall out and say, you know, I'm a guy that could contend over here. But in order to do that, you need to go up against the biggest and baddest in the UK, the biggest and baddest in British wrestling, and that's me. So he's stepping in the ring. I know he can bring the fight. I'm expecting him to bring the fight. I want him to come on his A game. I don't want him to come here and be half-assing it like Dalton Garrett. I don't want him to come in here and fall over and hurt himself and start crying like a bitch like Dalton Garrett. I don't want none of that, right? What I want is somebody who's going to come and bring a fight to me. And it's a shame that nobody here in Brit Rest can bring a fight to me. So he has to go to America and bring someone over who can actually bring a decent enough fight to me. Because I'm over to America. I'm going over to America regularly. I'm fighting over there. I'm fighting anybody, the biggest and baddest names in pro wrestling. I'm fighting them. So AJ Kazana is just going to be another man on that list when he comes here. He ain't going to know violence like the violence I bring to him. I know he's no stranger to the country folk. I know he's no stranger to a bull rope. But he is a stranger to a bull rope in the hands of one Tim Strange. And when I get that bull rope and I wrap around his neck and choke the life out of him, there ain't going to be much left of AJ Kazana. I'll put him back in the box and I'll send him back to America. Back to his family with a pretty little bow, said I'll come for the rest of them. His brother wants to come in, his brother can get it as well. His dad can come and get it as well. I respect the family, but if they want to get involved in my business, I got no problem putting them in their place, which I will do.
Yeah, let me ask you. I mean, you've been in dozens of bull rope matches. This is your first in an Immortal ring, so it will certainly be a treat for the fans of Immortal Wrestling in just a couple of weeks' time. But I you know, you've had a wonderful 2024. You've really put your name out there across the UK in death matches and all sorts of violence across the UK. Are you underestimating AJ Kazana just a little bit, though? I mean, he's one of the biggest stars on the NWA scene. You know, I think he's here to cause trouble, and he's here to cause you trouble as well, Tim.
He's a big boy, and he's a tough son of a bitch, and I know that he can go, and that's what I'm looking forward to. But if you watch any of my matches, you'll know that I can give out the punishment, but I can take it as well. So anything he can dish to me, I'm fully aware that I could take it. Anything he can give me, I know I can take it and keep going and keep going and keep going. Ain't no man going to keep me down. I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep coming back at him like a fight that he's never, ever had before. He doesn't know what's going to hit him. He doesn't know how I like to go. I'm happy to take a punch. It means I can get a punch back. I guarantee if we go punch for punch, I'm gonna be the only man standing. I'm the toughest son of a bitch there is in Immortal Wrestling. I've done one match, it was 1 minute and 30. As soon as I went back to Jay, I said, Jay, I haven't even broke a sweat. Let me challenge somebody else. Let me get somebody else out here. Because I haven't even done nothing yet. And he said, no, you're done. You're done for the night. And I said, I can take another 3-4 guys tonight. Because he was nothing.
We had no more spots on the card. It was all full up, mate. I wasn't expecting you to do the job that quickly. So you probably wasted your time. I could understand the look on your face. You were actually pissed. You come down expecting a contest, and you just got a squash match, pretty much. And for that, I feel bad. I'm so sorry for wasting your time, but we're going to make it up to you, I promise. Next Saturday.
All I want is a fight. Next Saturday, the fight's coming.
Got my word.
Tim, final question for me. We did invite AJ Kazana to join us here on the stream and to have a few words with you. Now, he's either caught up in traffic or something's happened, but he's not here. He's kind of declined our invite, or like I say, maybe he's a little bit intimidated by you. Maybe he's seen the size of you, and maybe he's just trying to focus on November the 23rd. But like I say, he was going to join us tonight, but he's not here.
Like a typical Yankee, he's probably looking at Buckingham Palace and doing the tourism. He's not here for a fight. He's here to look at the castles and look at the nice history, the history that his country doesn't have. And that's why he's here now to educate himself on what a proper country is like. He'll go back to the States and say, I've seen the castles, I've seen the rich history, I've seen that. What else did he do? I've also got my ass kicked in a bull rope match by Tim Strange. And that's what he's done. He's ticking all the boxes for an American wrestler wanting to come over here. You've seen the Buckingham Palace, you've seen the Tower of London, you got your ass kicked by Tim Strange. You know, I'm back home now. See you later. Thanks for coming. You know, that's it.
A final question from me then. So, your match against AJ Kazana, bull rope match. Say you're successful there, sir. Say you're successful there. What then for Tim Strange in an immortal ring?
Well, I need more challengers. I need that belt. I need the gold, really. I already know I'm the best. I already know that I'm the toughest guy. There is an immortal. Now I need to set that bar high and say, listen, I'm the toughest son of a bitch here. If you want to prove me wrong, come and prove me wrong, but you won't. And the only way to do that is go after the belts. Whoever wins that championship match, as soon as I'm done with AJ, I want to come straight for them. As soon as I win that belt, I'm going to then take that belt with me everywhere I go, and I'll defend it. Anywhere, against anybody. It's all the best around the world. It don't matter.
There we go. I'm just going to bring up this match graphic one more time. AJ Kazana versus Tim Strange in a bull rope match. A first time ever encounter, first time ever bull rope match in an immortal ring. Saturday, the 23rd of November, from the Southwick Village Hall in Southwick near Trowbridge. There's a barcode just underneath Jay there. Scan it. It takes straight through to Eventbrite. But Tim Strange versus AJ Kazana will be one of the featured matches in that show. Batterday Fight Fever, November the 23rd. Tim Strange, it's been an honor having you on the Immortal Wrestling Hype Show. Going to wish you all the best. Not that you're going to need it for November the 23rd. And we can't wait to see the bull rope match between yourself and AJ Kazana in just a couple of weeks' time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Take care. Wow.
Big words. Very big words. From a big man.
He can back it up, though. He should be able to back it up. Now AJ Kazana might join us before we finish this stream. We did offer him the invite to have his say, but clearly the size of Tim Strange may have intimidated AJ Kazana. If it didn't, AJ, if I see you backstage, it's okay. I'm a big AJ Kazana fan. I'm a big AJ Kazana fan for sure. One half of the NWA United States Tag Team Championship, but that's going to be a colossal encounter, Jay. And first time ever encounter, the first time ever bull rope match inside of an immortal ring. You must be excited for that one, my friend.
Definitely. I don't know if you've actually heard the Country Gentleman music, but the common phrase in there is "by the book." Is AJ Kazana going to do things by the book against Tim Strange, or is he going to take a page out of a different book to reach deep down, as we say, first time ever, first time clash, even in Immortal Wrestling ever? And it's a bull rope match. Tim Strange, he said he's done 50-60, never lost. But is it going to be done by the book? Or is the page going to be taken out of the book?
We will see. And here's our big friend, Not Mr. Tim Strange, but and not AJ Kazana, but you can see there the big QR code. And scan that, get your phones out. That takes you straight to Eventbrite. We can get your tickets, or even family bundle for Immortal Wrestling Batterday Fight Fever, November the 23rd from the Southwick Village Hall in Southwick near Trowbridge. And there's still tickets available, but get them quick. Get them quick because they are selling fast. And details of the venue there. But go to any of Immortal Wrestling socials. There's going to be a link there. There's going to be a link down in the bottom of this hype show, wherever you're watching this, of course. And of course, this has been the very first Immortal Wrestling hype show streaming live on Immortal Wrestling Facebook and YouTube channel, and it's been an absolute blast. But before we go, should we have a quick recap of some of the matches, Jay? Because
let's roll it back, Jonathan. Let's roll it back.
Hell of a card. And we've had the notorious DMP kind of get in touch and even send us a video, but he will be in the corner of Lazarus as he takes on, in his Immortal debut, another debutant, Dan Rodman, both trainees of ASW South, Joel Redmond's school over in Salisbury. That's going to be a banger. Speaking of bangers, we got this one here. Early Grave, Callie Gray, one half of the current Immortal Tag Team Champions, and Jack Landers taking on the Bounty Hunters, KM Lane and Tommy Lawrence. Tommy Lawrence, Callie Gray, no stranger to an Immortal ring. In fact, no stranger to one another. They've had their war of words. They've had their battles. But the Bounty Hunters versus Early Grave is going to be an absolutely tag team war. Then we've got Lion Kid, the first ever, the inaugural Immortal champion, taking on the current Rev Pro undisputed British Cruiserweight champion, Will Caven. That's going to be a fantastic match. If you like your Cruiserweights, you can love Will Caven versus Lion Kid. Then a triple threat with Frankie T defending his fighting championship against the Nomad Dalton Garrett and Steve Valentino. A triple threat. The odds will be stacked firmly against Frankie T, but he is a two-time champion and full of confidence as he goes into that match. And then we've got a number one contenders match for Nightshade's Immortal Wrestling Women's Championship. Erin Angel, veteran of the UK scene, taking on Violet Knight, who made a debut for Immortal Wrestling last year in a championship match against Nightshade. Both of these two are going to want to be the number one contender to Nightshade's championship. I'm sure the winner of that match will take on Nightshade in 2025. Then, of course, this four-way where CJ Rawlins will be defending his Immortal Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship, Jay, as Batterday Fight Fever against Powerhouse Blake, against Scrubber Daly, against Drake Winter. And we saw video clips from Drake Winter and CJ Rawlins a little bit earlier on. And, of course, there's a picture of our champion there looking like he means business as he steps into the Southwick Village Hall November 23rd. And we've just heard and seen from the man himself, Tim Strange. And he told us that the bull rope match is his speciality, Jay, and he'll be taking on AJ Kazana, coming all the way over from the States, one half of the NWA United States Tag Team Champions. That's going to be a tremendous match. You've got 7 matches there, Jay, all worth the price for admission, with talent from all across the UK, far and near. And, of course, you've got AJ Kazana flying over from the States. He's over in the UK currently. But a tremendous card that you've put together there, my friends, and a very, very exciting show for November the 23rd, the Southwick Village Hall. For any listeners out there that are a bit on the fence or haven't got their tickets yet, Jay, give us a final plug, a final sales spiel as to why we should be scanning that barcode or clicking the link or going to bit.ly/Immortal Tickets for their ticket or tickets today. Sell it to us, my friend.
Immortal Wrestling, value for money, more value than the money is worth. That's all I can say, John, is we give a bit of everything to everybody. We don't go out to make a profit or anything. It's crazy, it's balmy, but the people deserve a good show. They shouldn't have to pay an absolute fuck ton. Pardon my French, I'm very ready, sir, but as you say, you can.
It is value for money.
Yeah, it's value for money. 7 matches, not like to be seen. Some matches of this scale are not normally seen in village halls, but we bring these matches to you.
Yeah,
that was rubbish, I'm sorry.
Hey, you sold it to me.
Oh, well, there we are.
I'll be getting my tickets. I'll be scanning that barcode.
Awesome, yeah, right down there. It's right there.
But
under my big finger.
If you are getting yourself down to the Southwick Village Hall, you'll see them 7 matches. You'll be able to say hi to the promoter, Jay White. Not that Jay White. You'll be able to say hi to me. Shake my hand, say hi. But there's going to be a hungry, rabid audience of wrestling fans, British wrestling fans, that are going to be loud and raucous for those 7 matches. Immortal Wrestling, Batterday Fight Fever. It's a unique name for a show, but it's going to be a unique night of professional wrestling from the Southwick Village Hall, November the 23rd. But Jay, it's been a pleasure to roll it back and do one of these again. And I think you've mentioned on your socials that after this, you might even be looking at putting on more shows in 2025. What's on your mind, my friend?
That is the plan, yeah. We look at maybe doing 3 to 4 shows next year. We want to bring some of the big names back, maybe Takeness's Greatness. We might bring that back. Maybe we might even bring back Dirty Dango. We do want to maybe bring back Damien because we know people loved giving him smack. We've got to bring back the women's champion, of course. We've got this so much. We also want to start giving back. We want to start giving back. We want to start actually looking at doing maybe 1 or 2 charity shows. We might use Southwick. We might use a different venue. We're not sure. There's loads of stuff in the pipeline right now. But as we said, it's full steam ahead. Immortal Wrestling, Southwick Village Hall, Saturday, 23rd November. Batterday Fight Fever.
There we go.
What else can we say?
You sold it to us there 2 times over there, Jay. But from myself, from Jay, and from Immortal Wrestling, just want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. And click on the link in the description down below. Scan the barcode, which is underneath Jay's belly. Or just go to bit.ly/immortal tickets. Yeah, there we go.
Thank you.
There we go. Frankie T again. The current fighting champion says there's nothing great about Tate. Well, he did beat Dirty Dango last year, so maybe
he did.
He did, brass knucks and the lot. But Jay, it's been an absolute pleasure. But from everybody watching at home, just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Get your tickets. Immortal Wrestling, Batterday Fight Fever, November the 23rd from the Southwick Village Hall, and we'll see you there. We can't wait. But for everybody that's tuned in tonight, thank you very much.